As Israel steps up its offensive in Lebanon, an estimated 100,000 people have reportedly crossed over to Syria. The UNHCR says 60% of these are Syrians and 40% Lebanese nationals. In the last 1 week, Israeli airstrikes killed over 700 people in Lebanon as it widened its attack in the Middle East. Now, the attacks triggered a mass displacement of citizens from Lebanon into war-torn Syria over a week ago. According to the UNHCR, 30,000 people crossed into Syria by Friday, with the number now tripling as Israel stepped up its bombing. Meanwhile, 5,000 displaced Lebanese people have found shelter in a Damascus suburb in the south of the Syrian capital. The families who fled Israeli bombardment at home were given hotel rooms in Sayyida Zainab. Over 40 hotels are housing the refugees. In Sayyida Zainab, various non-governmental organizations are working to provide displaced families with essential supplies, including food, medical care, milk, and medicine. They have underlined the need for additional support being critical. Lebanon is home to 1.5 million Syrians who fled the civil war in their country. According to the UNHCR representatives in Syria, the refugees arriving from Lebanon are coming to a country that has been suffering from its own crisis and violence for more than 13 years, as well as from economic collapse. Lebanese refugees who fled to Syria spoke about how their lives were dramatically overturned by the escalating conflict between Lebanon and Israel.
We arrived yesterday in difficult circumstances to the Syrian border area, always aware of missiles exploding. While our passports were stamped at the crossing, a missile fell and destroyed many cars, and we lost our papers and identity documents. All of our cars were partly damaged. Our destination was Damascus. When we arrived in Damascus, kind people opened their doors to help us. We feel like we're at home, thanks to our Syrian brothers who opened their doors to Lebanese refugees.
There was an airstrike that hit my home, and I lost everything inside. I lost my identification documents and the money, around 5,000 US dollars, and all the other documents of my family were burned to ashes. My family and I survived the airstrike.
Joining us on the phone line is our correspondent Ghadi Francis from Lebanon. Ghadi, good to speak to you. What sort of situation is arising after the exodus from Lebanon to Syria for so many Lebanese?
Hello, Susan. Well, in Beirut, many issues are being addressed other than the displacement and the organizing of thousands and tens of thousands of Lebanese who have been forced out of their homes. There has been an anticipation of any press release from Hezbollah, and in the most recent, the vice deputy of Hezbollah, the vice chief, Sheikh Naim Qasim, addressed everyone, and it is the first time that Hezbollah officially addresses the public. And in his press release or his letter, he said, and I quote unquote, that Hezbollah is still going with their operations. They remain committed to the objectives and the field of jihad, unquote. They say that they are steadfast in attacking or missile attacking areas in the northern Israeli areas and so on, and that the Hezbollah would vote or would assign a new chief as soon as possible. They will choose a new secretary general for the party at the earliest opportunity. Now, he said, observe what happened after His Eminence's assassination. Resistance operations continue with the same and even greater intensity. We struck Ma'ali Adumim, which is 150 kilometers from the Lebanese border. We struck Haifa, and more than 1 million settlers entered shelters due to a single rocket. What we are doing is the minimum, and we will continue the battle. Now, this, Susan, says that Hezbollah is getting ready for a ground invasion or a ground operation and not stepping back, regardless of what is happening on the ground from assassinations, daily strikes.
All right, well, Ghadi, thank you so much for being our eyes and ears on the ground. Do stay safe as we follow this story. We'll be speaking to you shortly. Thank you.